Hey, how have you been? I got your message and I'm gonna answer it, but I just wanted to say I know it's been a long time since we spoke and I wasn't even sure if you would be there when I got back, but I should have known. We've been sharing this journey for quite a few years. So you want to know what happened to the old Victorian house? Well, I don't know if I've ever told you this about myself, but I've always wanted to rescue an old house. And I don't mean just buy an old house and fix it up. I mean one that is so far gone that is just sitting there abandoned and no one cares what happens to it. They've all given up on it. And you just know if nobody does anything, that house is not going to be around much longer. So that's what that was. So for all of you smarty pants in the comments saying that I was stupid for buying the house and acting like I didn't know that it was a tear down house, well, you don't know me very well. I'm not that stupid. So when I bought the house, I knew there was going to be one of two things happen. Either I was going to get lucky and save the house, or number two, I was going to tear it down and start all over again. And either way, it was going to be a big learning experience and something that I was willing to take on because I love learning new things. I love working with my hands and I love old houses. So I bought the house during COVID, and everybody I called said that they were really busy because everybody was staying home fixing their houses, and I was like, what do you mean nobody's working? How can you stay home and spend money on fixing a house? But that's what I kept getting over and over. I actually had one guy tell me that he doesn't do a roof that steep. It's too dangerous. He's too old to mess with it. And I had another guy that said he wouldn't even fix the house. He'd just tear it down and start all over again. I heard that quite a few times. And I just couldn't find anybody to help me put a roof on that house, and I knew if I did not get a roof on it right away that it was gone and I was just going to have to go to plan B. I did not want to do that, so I went and I rented a boom lift with a bucket, and I got up there and I put a tarp on the roof. And the roof was so rotten I couldn't hardly get any nails to stick to the roof. So I tacked it down as good as I can around the perimeter and tried to put some stuff in the middle, and it just, where I live there's a lot of wind and windstorms, and the tarp kept blowing off the roof and it just couldn't be saved. You know, it was just, it's one of those things. It was heartbreaking. I love the house. It was such a beautiful house. I really wanted to save this house, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So I went back before it got demoed, and I got all the windows and doors out that I possibly could. Some of it I couldn't get out. Some of the like trim work and frames I couldn't get out, but every frame for the doors and windows I could get out, I did. All the trim I could get out, I did. I even removed, there was 3 rooms in the house that I removed the hardwood floors. They're kind of questionable. They need a lot of cleaning, but I think I can clean them up and use them again. I took out a lot of the staircase, and this staircase just blew my mind, y'all. It was the most amazing thing I have ever seen. Like this house, they kind of lost the records on it. It was moved from one location to another, and somehow they lost track of when this house was built. People were guessing somewhere around 1900, the turn of the century. They didn't know exactly when, but I can tell you this, whoever built that staircase, you can see the little marks in the wood where they plunge drilled in and then they chiseled out for the tread. and they slid the tread in the groove from the back, and then they put wedges in it, and that thing was not going anywhere. That was built to last. It was amazing. Like the craftsmanship, that's why I love these old houses. The craftsmanship that went into these old houses was just incredible. And everything was done by hand. I'm sure that was one of those old drills that you use by hand. You know, there wasn't any power tools back then. It's just amazing what they did. And that staircase, it would probably been there a very, very long time if the house didn't get a leaky roof. That's the downfall of having, you know, wooden structures. If you get a hole in the roof and you don't pay attention to that, the house it's just a matter of time, the house is going to be gone. And if it's not, then you risk getting mold in the house, which is a whole whole different ball game you don't really want to fool with. So it was bittersweet going home to tear out all the stuff from the old house, knowing that even though I saved some of the beautiful woodwork, the house wasn't going to be there anymore. I did measure everything that I possibly could and put it in a notepad, and I did a little sketch up of the floor plan. Took as many pictures as I could because I would love to rebuild that house someday, but I'm not going to rebuild it on that lot. I'm going to put a very small, easy to build house with a shallower pitched roof so that I could get up on top of it myself. If that wasn't a 12-12 pitch, I would have got up on top of that roof and I would have ripped it apart and redone it myself. But I don't know, I couldn't stand the thought of falling through that roof and getting hurt. And as much as I love the house, it just wasn't worth the risk for me. So I just let it go. And that is what happened with the old Victorian house. It is but a memory, unfortunately. You know, if I was rich, I would just go around the country and buy up every old house, especially the abandoned ones, every old house that I could, and rescue it. But I haven't won the lottery yet, so that's not happening right now. I'm still driving a truck. And I saw your comment, a few of you asked about my dog. Well, I'm not sure which dog you're talking about. If you're talking about Myna, unfortunately I had to rehome her. That was another heartbreak for me. Like, y'all do not know how much I loved that dog. It just tore me up, the thought of having to get rid of her. She was so incredible. One of the smartest dogs I have ever had. She was so sweet, and she was very protective over me. She was an excellent guard dog. People were, well, not everybody, but a lot of people were afraid of her, and she was very protective. So if I ever get out of this truck, I'm getting another Doberman. I think they are excellent dogs. But she had anxieties. If you watch my channel, you know that she had anxieties. I tried everything I could to help that dog. I got her a Thunder shirt. I got one of those calming collars that sprays, I forget what it's called. It's not eucalyptus, it's something else. But anyway, it didn't work. And I even took her to the vet and got her put on Prozac for her crazy butt, and that had no effect on her. I got CBD, started giving that to her every day. That had no effect on her. I even took her to a trainer, paid a lot of money for this trainer, explained the situation, left her with the trainer for 2 weeks, come and got her, and the trainer basically handed me some type of training harness that goes on her head so I could get her under control when I walked her. That's the only thing this so-called trainer did, because she basically said she couldn't do anything with her anxiety. She's just afraid. So if she's afraid of something, she's just afraid. Just like if you were afraid of snakes, she couldn't talk you out of being afraid of snakes. I'm like, lady, why don't you just admit you don't know what you're doing? But that was a huge waste of money. And I wish that I'd had more time with her, because there's still other things I would like to have tried. But after COVID, I went into a company truck. I couldn't take her with me and risk her destroying the truck because of her anxiety. She can't ride down the road in a vehicle. She even tried to tear up my personal pickup truck. She put a hole in my car seat also. So I reluctantly let her go to a different family. They said she's doing well. I think about this dog all the time. I mean, all the time. And check in on her sometimes and see how she's doing. They said she's doing well. She has a huge backyard to play in, and she seems happy, so that's the most important thing. Now, if you're talking about Juno, my new dog, the little Boston Terrier, I have a video of him on my Instagram channel. He's crazy. Like, he's a nut, but he is so funny, and he keeps me laughing, and he is the best companion ever, because he just always puts a smile on my face, and he's so fun to be around. The only bad thing is I didn't realize that these dogs are so hyper when I got him. I was watching somebody on YouTube that had one that just laid around in her little dog bed all the time, and I thought that's what they were like. That is not what these dogs are like. They are very, very active and very smart, and he's actually down there looking at me right now, hearing me talk about him. I still got him. I will always have him, hopefully for a very long time, because he is a sweetheart and he just brings so much joy to my life. I know I've gotten a couple comments, which is very few. Luckily I have very few negative comments. Y'all are awesome. Most of y'all are. But I've gotten a few negative comments about, you know, throwing away dogs or whatever. I forget how they worded it, but no, that's not what I do. My dog is a part of my family, and it broke my heart to get rid of Myna. If I could, I'd have her right now. She would still be with me. It's just one of those things that, driving a truck, what can you do? I mean, I didn't have a whole lot of options. I tried everything in my mind that I could think of within my power to help her and help keep her on my truck, but it just didn't work out. So I don't believe in throwing away dogs. My dog is a part of my family. My dog will always be here. I've actually had boyfriends that said, "Why don't you get rid of your dog? I don't like your dog." I'm like, I'd rather get rid of you than to get rid of my dog. Y'all hang on just a second. That's my broker calling. Okay, so got a bit of a delay, but back to the story. I guess I don't need this. Back to the story. I've answered the question about my house, the question about the dog, and I also wanted to address this too. In my last video, I mentioned looking for a hangout buddy, and I think I might have mentioned that I know I mentioned I was single for over 6 years, and I think I might have mentioned I was thinking about dating again. I didn't mean those two together. I wasn't trying to lump those two together. Those are two separate things. I don't even know if I want to date again. I am so happy being single, like you have no idea. I have not been this happy since I was a kid. But this time around, the added bonus, being an adult, I have all the freedom I did not have as a child. So I am probably at one of the happiest points in my life right now. And I'm so focused on my future and my career and just loving life. I don't know that I would want to date again. So the hangout buddy is a platonic thing, looking for a friend only. If you're messaging me looking for a date, it's probably not going to happen. I'm just looking for a friend. That's it. And oh, I wanted to ask y'all a question, because I had a lady comment on this shirt that I'm wearing. Let me see if I can show you my shirt. I don't know if I can get the camera far enough away from it. So, haters equal motivators. And yes, this is a faded, old, worn out shirt. I bought this shirt right after I started driving because, y'all, when I started driving, I was fit, I was athletic, I looked like a cheerleader. Well, the cheerleader body, that was me. That's what I looked like when I started driving. I've always loved to exercise. I've always been active. I'm a little bit ADD. I may have been ADHD before I started driving. I couldn't stand still. I would literally pace back and forth and couldn't sit still. Like, it took me a long time to train myself to sit still in this truck seat, and I kind of wish I hadn't, because I missed the old me that was so active I couldn't sit still. But when I got this shirt, the reason why I bought this shirt was when I first started driving a truck, I promised myself I wasn't going to let myself get fat, because I knew sitting on your butt all day is not a good thing. And I used to go out, when I first started driving, I would go out for power walks all the time. And I would put the ankle bracelets on, I had the little dumbbells in my hand, and I would come back pouring sweat. And I made the mistake of almost immediately, as soon as I got off the trainer's truck, I started teaming with this guy, ended up dating him. And he was insecure. He did not want me getting out of the truck and walking. He was so afraid other people were going to be looking at me. He put me through all kinds of crap. And I did notice people looking at me sometimes. I really didn't care. Like, I'm doing me, leave me alone, mind your business. So it didn't bother me at first. The only reason it started to bother me is because he would not shut up. He ran his mouth so much every day. It started to bother me. At first I didn't care. But I did have a couple instances where people ticked me off because I'd be out walking trying to get exercise, and they'd be flashing their headlights like they thought I was a hooker or something, trying to get me to come over to their truck. That made me mad. So that's why I bought this shirt. And I'm curious, what do you think it means? I'll tell you what I think it means in the next video, or what it means to me in the next video, but I'm curious what you think it means. So I know this is probably getting long again. I'm trying to make shorter videos. I'm trying to do as many videos as I can without editing, because if I don't have to spend so much time editing, I can post more often. I plan on doing some of the road vlogs later. I haven't got my GoPro set up yet, and my laptop and all that stuff. I got to get all that back up and running. So I'm going to wrap this up. It was good checking in with you. I look forward to seeing what y'all have to say. And if you have any ideas for the next video, comment below. See ya. Y'all stay safe out there.